it's Sandra. Welcome back to another episode of Asexualise, my asexual life. You have to excuse me because I've still got COVID symptoms. So I'm not sure how well I'm going to do, but yes, welcome back to another episode of education about asexuality, all things asexual. I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button right here, right now. We're going to talk about Facebook dating today. We're going to talk about the positives and negatives of Facebook dating for asexuals. So as you know, I've still got COVID. I've still got symptoms of COVID. And so, yeah, I'm pretty exhausted. I haven't been live streaming much, but I have still been on Facebook dating. Now, I was off Facebook dating very briefly for a few days. I kind of went off it, and then I just decided to go back on it. And the reason for this is because I'm a really romantic asexual. I really kind of feel that need, that really strong desire to talk to guys, especially foreign guys, younger foreign guys in their 20s usually. Indian and Pakistani are the type of guys I'm usually predominantly talking to on there. And so for me personally, as a romantic asexual, I get really kind of craving to have romantic connection with someone. I get craving to have just connection to guys, just to in the age group I like, who are, you know, just even to be their friends. I just find it invigorating. And I just find it overall good for me, because if I kind of think about, oh, I love being single, don't get me wrong. And sometimes I'm like 50-50 on should I even be in a relationship. I really love my single life so much. I enjoy living on my own. I really have a great time, but I have this really strong desire for romance in my life. And so just by talking to guys, it kind of feels that are in, you know, the kind of age group I like, the aesthetics, ethnicity type that I like, you know, or some variation of that, then it makes me feel good in terms of like, I'm not kind of craving something I haven't got, because I can kind of feel, even if they're not romantically attracted to me, which I think some of them are, I feel romance for them and aesthetic attraction for them. I just feel better because I feel like I have an abundance mindset rather than scarcity. Oh, it's going to be, you know, it is difficult to find someone who's a suitable match for a relationship for me. But instead of having a scarcity mindset, oh, like, will I find anyone? It's kind of like, well, usually when one guy goes, another guy comes in my life. So it kind of like, well, it's kind of like, well, usually when one guy goes, another guy comes in my life. So it kind of like is training my brain to think, you know, if a guy comes into my life that isn't right for me, leaves, it's okay, because another one will come along. And this is good because it helps lower your chances of ending up in abusive relationships. So if you've had abusive relationships in the past, there's a lot of the time there's patterns you'll follow. So you end up speaking to people who are also abusive. You'll end up getting back in those situations if you're not careful and don't break the cycle. And one of the things that helps keep us in an abusive situation is if we actually have the mindset of scarcity. So if we have the mindset that, oh, I'm never going to find anyone for a relationship, it's really, really bad, there's no one out there for me, and there's no one even talking to me. This is a scarcity mindset. And what this does, it breeds within you the feeling that you're going to be alone, that no one's going to want you if you're looking for a relationship. And that, you know, and that it kind of panics you as such, you know, it kind of puts you into the state of mind, oh, I have to accept what I'm given. And this is a really, really bad negative state of mind to go in, right? So what Facebook dating does, at least for me, and I found that's very positive, is I feel that I can get my romantic needs met just by talking to various younger foreign guys, because that's what I'm personally attracted to. I can just get those needs met, you know. And I was originally like, before, thinking Facebook dating is really bad because it can get a bit much as an asexual person, because, you know, a lot of guys on there want to hook up, a lot of them are wanting sex. But when the friendship button came on, you know, and it's new, and you can look, it said it's new and you can look for friends on there, this completely changed Facebook dating for me. But I was a bit alarmed because a couple of days ago, the button just, the option for that just disappeared. But luckily it came back some hours later, because I was thinking, do not take that off, because I get more suitable matches for me through the friendship button friendship option, I should say, than I do through the actual heart match for a relationship option. And so I'm having much more luck with the friendship button. The friendship button has got guys in the age group I like usually, lots of Indian guys, quite a lot of Pakistani guys in there. In the age group I like, very interesting people, have shared hobbies or interests with me. And I'm just finding that really, really positive about Facebook dating. But when they took it off, I don't know, I thought it was going to be permanent. I was like, please do not do this, because I'm getting so much more success. I've talked to lots more guys since the friendships button's been on there. And I have been speaking to a couple of guys today who hopefully will, one I've been speaking to for a little while now as a friend. They stopped talking to me for a few days, but they had personal stuff going on, so that's cool. But, you know, like, I've just, you know, talked to another guy today, and one's Pakistani, one's Indian, and they're really nice so far, you know. But I do get other guys, like I've had some other guys come from Facebook dating to my personal Facebook profile, and then they just stop talking to you. And I think that's really sad. I think they should at least say to you, look, we're not going to be suitable for a relationship, but I would like to be your friend if they want to stay my friend, and what that would look like, and actually being a friend, a proper friend. So I had one guy who was interested in a relationship with me, but he wanted to live with someone in the future, and I don't. And I put in my profile I like to live separately, but he didn't read that bit till later, then question me over it. And so that's why he stopped talking to me. But he did say to me, like, if I, you know, if he was okay about not living together, like, would I consider, you know, what would I, you know, what actually am I looking for in terms of soulmates? So I explained my ideal soulmate. I said, I'd love to know your thoughts. And he never gave me his thoughts. And I thought that was a little bit mean, as in the sense that I spent ages writing out what type of relationship I wanted, and I didn't get any feedback from him. I said, I'd love to know your feedback. And the feedback was basically stop talking to me. But he did say he wanted to be my friend, carry on being my friend. So it's like, do you really want to be my friend or not? Are you just never going to speak to me again? You know, and I didn't like that, because for me personally, if I think someone's not right for me, I will say it to them, blatantly say it outright, you know. But it's not the first time. Also, one of the people who is a good friend of mine, they kind of didn't tell me that we weren't suitable for a relationship. I kind of found that out in conversation, whereas I wish they just told me that, you know what I mean? So that was a little bit disappointing. But obviously no one's perfect, and, you know, people don't always think like years ago, I kind of thought people should be able to assume things, and, you know, it's just best to be direct. So I would say, you know, there's not enough directness and honesty about, you know, why you are suitable for someone or you aren't suitable for someone. I just think it's much better if you can be much more honest and open and direct, and people aren't mind readers, you know. But so far, even though I've been sick, you know, I haven't always been on Facebook dating. I'm taking time out every day usually to just rest a lot, and to watch a movie every day, because it really relaxes my body. And you know, I felt good overall about Facebook dating. Sometimes it's a bit energy draining if you're poorly, obviously. You know, I've had guys saying they want to meet up. It's like, I can't meet up with you when I've got COVID. And so I feel some of them don't take you very seriously in what you say. And, you know, it's like, I can't see you if you know, if I've got COVID, I can't go out of my place to see you. And a lot of the time they expect you, they have like this sense of entitlement where they expect you just to talk to them when they feel like it. And again, that isn't right. That's a really negative thing about Facebook dating. They just start trying to video call you or audio call you without even asking you in advance. Sometimes they might just ask you randomly there and then, like, oh, can I video call you now? But usually, the majority of the time, I like to schedule video or audio calls in, because I'm not usually available at the same time as other people are. But it's kind of like a sense of entitlement they have. Like, you know, I'm free now, so you should be free now. And I don't like that. That's a very negative thing I found out, you know. If a guy is a healthy guy, he'll respect my time just as much as I've got to respect his. At the same time, you know, if you want to make something work, you've also got to be willing to put the time, energy and effort in and come to an agreement of when you are going to video call. Obviously not being well, a lot of the time I haven't even wanted to do any video audio calls. I was going to do one tonight with a guy if he showed up on Facebook dating, but he didn't, and I gave him 10 minutes and I just like deleted him. And the reason I just did, you know, I don't like people who are late. I don't like people who disrespect my time. And I especially don't like it when he's kept saying to me, oh, can I call you? Can I call you? Can I call you? You know, and different nights. And last night he wanted to. And I said no, because I'm too poorly and exhausted, you know. And so, you know, for a guy who kept going on about calling, and I arranged specifically to call him at a set time and he can't even be there and he knows I'm sick, it's just not on. And so, you know, and he was asking me about a picture, and there's loads of pictures over my Facebook dating profile. He doesn't need another picture, you know, of me. And you can't send pictures, you can't send photographs on there anyway. So yeah, I just got the feeling that it's not going anywhere and there's no point. And so I just deleted him from communicating with me on the app. I thought, you can't even bother to get there, mate. 10 minutes late, you know, you can't even be asked or whatever. So I think it was 14 minutes past, I just deleted him. I don't think he would have been able to have a serious relationship with me anyway. And so I'm finding that I get a lot of responses when I'm on Facebook dating, but a lot of the people that I come across on their profiles are like, is anyone talking out there? You know, does anyone actually see these messages? Does anyone actually reply? And they're like, oh, if you're not going to bother speaking to me, don't even bother matching. But I managed to talk to quite a lot of people. Like, I have, like, at any one time, about, not all of them are talking to me, but a lot of the time, like, I have about 3 or 4 people talking to me at once, maybe more. Like, even before I came on here, I got three different people messaging me, you know. And so I have quite a lot of success, really, because I think the more, well, dating is a numbers game. The more people you talk to, the more likely you are to find people eventually that are suitable for you. It's just like sales. If you're in sales, for example, I've been in retail sales in the past few years, it's a numbers game. The more people you speak to about the product and the service, eventually you'll get more sales. But you know, it needs to be really targeted, you know, otherwise you're just flailing around everywhere. You know, it's no good like trying to target someone for a washer dryer to sell to if they've already got one, or they've just bought a brand new one and they have no space for another one, you know what I mean? So much like that with dating, you know, you've got to have some idea of what you want. You know, what shared interests do you need? What commonalities do you want? You know, what's your deal breakers, you know? So, and some of them really don't read the bio still on there. You know, I put, I'm asexual, I hate all types of sex. And some of them literally just look at your photograph and like your photograph. So while it's flattering that I get a load of guys loving my photos, it's not enough to be able to have a relationship, you know, and especially a non-sexual one. Because I'm sex repulsed for me personally, and so I don't want a sexual relationship, and obviously that is harder to get on there. I've had one guy recently who said that he wasn't interested in sex, but he was the one who wanted to live together in the future, and I don't want that. Plus he's got facial hair, and I'm really turned off by facial hair, and that for me personally, I know that's a very personal thing, is a negative about Facebook dating. The majority of the guys on there have got facial hair. They've got beards and mustaches. And I know if you're into facial hair or don't care about that, it's fine. But for me personally, I get sick of it. I'm like, why can't I just see more guys who are clean shaven? Because I don't want to be kissing a guy really who's got facial hair. I'm not that attracted to it. And I love kissing in a relationship a lot. And I get really turned off more or not as aesthetic attracted to a guy who's got facial hair, especially a beard. A beard's really bad. A little mustache is a bit more doable, unless he's got just a tiny little bit of a goatee here, like a really small amount of hair. But even that doesn't look nice for me. I like baby face. So yeah, so in terms of aesthetics, if you are talking about aesthetic, there is quite a lot of good looking guys on there in the age bracket I like. But you know, a lot of them could be much better looking, I personally think, without facial hair. And there are some guys without facial hair on there, obviously, but you know what I mean? It's just like, and some of them, they've got pictures of them with no facial hair, but it's like one, and the rest of them, they got beards. And I'm like, please, can you just be the person you are in that clean shaven photograph? Because I know you can look really good looking, but the beard just really turns me off. And so, you know, I find that very difficult. And also I get quite a lot of guys who are suitable in terms of what they look like in terms of their interests and stuff, but they smoke. I had someone come through and they said they you know, it said on their profile they smoke occasionally. And then they're telling me, oh, but because they were interested in me, they're telling me they don't smoke and they gave it up. But it's not true, clearly, in their profile, you know? And so some of them lie. Some of them lie about their age. Some of them lie about, you know, the smoking and tell you what they think you want to hear. And I really don't want to go like that. That's really negative thing about Facebook dating. Also, their age isn't always correct, and a lot of the time it isn't correct. It comes through from Facebook, so it's taken off their profile, so they can't change it. So it means that if they put a age down on Facebook, they've lied when they basically set up their Facebook account. They lied about the age they are, which is why it's come through at a different age. But instead of, some of them will actually put on their bio, I'm not actually this age, I'm this age instead, which is a bit more honest, obviously. But some of them, it's like one guy said it was 31, and then he told, no, 30, yeah, 31, I think it said, and he told me he's really 33. Or vice versa, it might be 33, he told me he's 31. I'm like, well, which one is it then? Thanks for the thumbs up, lots of love. I'm like, well, which one is it then? And he's going, oh, I don't know, it might. He said, I don't know. So I said, which one is it then? Which age is it? And he's like, oh, I don't know. It might be wrong on the bio. Surely you know your own age. You know what I mean? If you don't know your own age, it's a bit dodgy to me. I have had people, foreigners, tell me they don't actually know their age, something to do with their country and stuff. Megan, hey, just popped in to say hi. Oh, thank you, Megan. Lots of love to you. Yeah, I don't stream very much at the moment because I've still got COVID symptoms, but I've felt well enough to do a quick live stream tonight. So I thought I'd tell people how I'm getting on with Facebook dating. So yeah, it's lovely to see you. Lots of love. I hope your relationship's going well, because I know you were in a relationship a while ago, weren't you? So I hope that's going good for you. But yeah, so Facebook dating, I'm feeling like I still want to be on it at the moment. I'm still enjoying it from the amount of, that's good. Hope you recover soon. Thank you. Yeah, I think I'm on the mend, but I think it might take another week because get pretty exhausted and I really don't do much. But I did do some Asexual Guide to Sex yesterday. I'm going to go off on a tangent a minute. So I finished a chapter yesterday, despite having COVID, a chapter that I've been working on for frigging ages, weeks, obviously with breaks. Yeah, you're doing good. Just celebrated our 2-month. Oh, yeah, we're doing good, says Megan. Just celebrate our 2-month anniversary. I'm so happy for you. Woo! You can tell I've got some energy back. I'm really proud of you, both of you. It's amazing. I'm so happy for you. It's really good. Oh, I love it. It makes me feel good, you know, when that happens. I feel great for you. I feel better. I can't even think about what I was talking about. I was saying Asexual Guide to Sex. Yes, I was a chapter. I've been working on it for weeks, probably months more like, since the beginning of the year, I think. I don't even remember when I started it. It's a really, really important chapter because it's actually about safety whilst having sex, and it's also got a lot of stuff about relationships in there. So Asexual Guide to Sex has now changed to not just a guide about sex, but it also talks a lot about relationships and healthy relationships, what to look for in terms of abuse or narcissists. And the chapter I've been working on predominantly was about abusers and narcissists and the signs to look out for. And so that's been a really in-depth chapter. That was something I wasn't originally going to put in the book. There was a little tiny bit I was going to put in the book from that, just one like little Bill of Rights thing, like, you know, your human rights. But that was all that was going to be in there originally. But then I decided that I believe if you're going to have sex as an asexual, I'm not saying you have to or you should, but if you are thinking about it, you should always have it with someone you have a healthy relationship with first and who's not going to be abusive down the line to you. And so this is a book, Asexual Guide to Sex is a book I wished I'd had when I was 16 and pressurized into having sex for the first time ever. And so for me personally, writing the Asexual Guide to Sex book is important for people to have a good relationship. So even if you don't want sex, the Asexual Guide to Sex is still going to be really damn useful for if you get into a relationship or thinking about getting into a relationship with anyone, because it really lists what the what the good, you know, what healthy relationship looks like and what an unhealthy relationship looks like. And, you know, and I think it can save some lives in that way. I'm not saying it's going to, but I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a psychiatrist or counsellor. But I just know that if some people look through these signs of abuse, they might already have encountered someone or be with someone who's like this, but not moved in with them yet, or not got too serious with them yet, and think, sugar, I need to get rid of this person in my life because they're no good for me before, you know, they have sex. It's much better, because when you have sex, you're emotionally attached to the person a lot more. Anyway, going back to Facebook dating. So in terms of sexual relationship, I found a lot of guys on Facebook dating want sex, want to hook up. But when I use the friendship button, I'm finding that I am actually getting more guys to talk to as friends. Now, that's a really positive thing, I think. I'm feeling better. I only hope they become, you know, long-lasting, genuine friendships, because I do want to have younger foreign guys as friends. Because if I can't be in a relationship for a lot of years, and maybe I'm always going to be better on my own, not in a relationship, actually, I just feel better being around the type of guys I'm attracted to, because I just feel it's nice for me to have that company, you know? So even if it's not an actual romantic relationship, I just think it feels good to have that. Obviously, you know, when they get partners and they might not speak to me again and stuff like this, when they got partners, because heterosexual guys just are like that a lot of the time, then that is going to be sad. But I'm always going to have a foundation of asexual friends and close friends anyway, best friends, who are going to be with me through the good and bad times forever, I believe. So, you know what I mean? It's not going to be so bad. But yeah, I just think that, you know, for me personally, Facebook dating, I'm kind of using it in my everyday life most days now. And I'm just kind of speaking to lots of different guys. There was one guy, it was quite sad. There was one guy who friended me from Facebook dating on my personal profile. And we've been friends a while with this guy on Facebook personal profile. And when he talked to me, he was interested in a relationship, but he came to the conclusion that we wouldn't be suitable for a relationship because he wants kids and I don't. But he hadn't thought about that until I made him think about that, as in I didn't make him physically and shake him or anything like that, but I prompted him to think about it, because I told him in a video chat that I don't want kids, and are you going to want that down the line, even if you don't want it now? Because he said, oh, I don't want that now. But now saying that doesn't mean to say they don't want it later on, you know? And so obviously the danger for me liking younger foreign guys in the early to mid 20s predominantly is that a lot of them don't have their life figured out, what they want forever down the line, you know? That's not the case with all of them, but with some of them. And so I really made this guy think. And unfortunately, I thought he still wanted to be my friend, because he said he did. He said that he wants friends in his city in London. And I'm going, all being well, COVID-free hopefully by then, on the 28th of July to go for an experience in London, a War of the Worlds experience, which will be amazing, like 4D special effects with my best asexual friend Sammy. But later on I'll have some time in London, so I thought I could see him and meet up with him. And, you know, when he was originally talking to me, he was all up for that type of thing. And then when I spoke to him last about it, I could tell that he wasn't interested, really. He didn't, you know, it was like a real effort to get him to agree to see me. And then it was only like something like, oh, I just want to make it something small in a cafe next to a tube station. He just didn't seem interested in me. And so after that, he didn't really speak to me for over a week. And he didn't even send me get well wishes, and I was just like, you don't really care about me. And so I did send him a message to say that I felt like he wasn't really interested in me, didn't really care about me, and he agreed. And so basically I had to unfriend him on Facebook and just say goodbye to him. And that was a bit sad, you know, because I really liked him. But it's for the best anyway, because I did have some attraction to him, but even though he had facial hair, so I do get some traction sometimes for guys, even though they got some facial hair, because I can become attracted to them because of an emotional connection. But I really prefer a guy to have no facial hair for kissing. It's just much better for me. But yeah, so I guess it's meant to be like I need to detach from him, because I always think and say to you on this channel, you can't find the right person, or the right person won't come into your life if you've got the wrong one in it. So if you have got emotional attachment to someone who's not very good for you, not the right person for you, but who could cause you heartache and pain because you still do have some feelings for them anyway, it's actually best if you let that person go from your life. So that's what I had to do with him. It was a mutual agreement for us to go from each other's lives, because he agreed with me that he's not that interested in me and he can't really be a good friend to me. So, you know, he's got stuff going on in his life at the moment, so it's not all like, you know, he just can't be bothered. It's kind of like he's got his head somewhere else, you know. But even so, I just know he's not really interested in me, and he agreed. And so he just said sorry and thanks for everything, and thanks, and, you know, basically for everything. Or thanks and sorry for everything, that type of thing. And he has no words to say to me, you know. And so I just had to go. Well, I haven't blocked him because he's a nice guy. I've just like unfriended him because there's no point in being in each other's lives if he doesn't ever want to see me and doesn't even treat me with any value or worth, you know. So sometimes in your life you've just got to let people go who don't value your worth. You've got to have an open, honest conversation, and a lot of people don't in life, and that's a problem. You know, if you're a lot more direct and honest, like, I'm not going to ghost him. I don't think it's right to do that, you know. I don't like ghosting, you know. It's much better to just say what's on your mind, you know, and leave something amicably if you've had some sort of connection to them, which we did. We video chat like 3 times. And so I was going to see him, but obviously, you know, it's fine because there'll be other guys that want to see me in the future anyway. So if he doesn't, it's his loss in that way. But I wish him the best. I know he's going through a hard time on something. So, but even so, you know, there's no point in me waiting around because he doesn't have an interest in me. It's obvious. So intuitively, I just knew that, and he agreed. So, you know, you can mutually agree just to part ways. You know, so. But it is disappointing if you get someone who's really, really talking to you and then all of a sudden they just stop speaking to you. And that can get really disheartening, I think. But you just have to remember that they disqualify themselves. Any person who just stops talking to you and doesn't resume a conversation, hasn't got a good reason for them to stop talking to you, then you just know that they've disqualified themselves from being in a relationship with you, right? Because you can't be in a relationship with someone who doesn't communicate with you, doesn't effectively talk to you. And effective communication is all about being very direct. And we're not really taught this as human beings. We're not really taught to be direct. A lot of the time, being direct can come, you know, if we're not careful, can come across as blunt to the point, and blunt can be a good thing or a bad thing. But if we think, you know, how many times has someone been direct with us, and when they are direct, how many times have you felt relief? I know I feel very much relief if someone just speaks directly to me in a nice, polite manner, you know, and just says that this isn't working, this is why, have a chat about it, and then agree to mutually part ways. It's much better than, you know, some person just putting the other person down, or some person just not speaking to the other person and cutting off from them without actually talking. And, you know, it's much more tidy. But obviously not everyone's the same. Some people will ghost you. They'll just stop speaking to you. There's quite a lot that do that. But I just try not to get emotionally attached to those type of guys. And also, you know, if someone's putting minimal effort in with you, then you need to do the same back to them. I learnt this from other dating coaches a long time ago. It's called the minimum investment guy. I talk about guys because that's who I'm attracted to. And it's all about the fact they put minimum time, minimum effort in with you. And so you just do that back to them. It's a bit, you know, sometimes at first it can feel a bit cruel, but then, you know, you can't like be doing all the work. So if someone says hi, you just say hi. You know, I have though sometimes, even on Facebook dating the other day, I said to them, oh, this guy, so do you want to talk to me then? Because it's like, you know, I've had guys come in there, and one guy just gave me a thumbs up, so I gave him a thumbs up back. I'm thinking, you're not going to speak to me. Do you know what I mean? And if a guy says hi, I might just say hi back. But some nights, you know, the other day, it's like, then he started trying to talk to me again, but it was like one thing, like, how you doing, or all right, or something just really simple, plain like that. And I'm like, yeah, would you like to tell me more about yourself then? You know what I mean? Because, you know, so a lot of them haven't got very effective communication on there, or they just don't want to get attached. So they will literally not tell you much about themselves. And sometimes it'll be like getting blood out of a stone, you know, and sometimes you might feel like you're putting all the effort in, and it can't stay like that. It's not sustainable. So you really have to be trying to find people on there that will effectively communicate back to you, that will have long in-depth conversations with you, that you can move off the dating app if you want onto another platform. I like Facebook. What's really annoying is most of them will ask you for your WhatsApp number. I'm luckily not on WhatsApp. I don't have the app installed. But when they do that, it's like, and quickly move you off. It's like they're not really that interested in you. A lot of them, I don't think, in my opinion. It's just to like, it feels like they're just getting a, you know, like a traditional, I don't know if you know, but in traditional relationships, in traditional dating, I should say, rather than relationships, they have something called a little black book. And the little black book means it's a list of phone numbers, potentially, of people who might have sex with you. So on Facebook dating, when guys continuously ask me for my WhatsApp number without even knowing me, to me, it's like they have a virtual black book. In other words, they have loads of people's, girls in my case, phone numbers, and they just want to go through them and phone randomly when they're bored, when they got nothing better to do. And also, you know, like, just like speak to as many girls as they want. You know what I mean? I just find it really offensive a lot of the time, because I just know usually with me personally, if they ask for my WhatsApp number, it usually means I'm not that interested in you apart from to chat you up to have sex with you. And I get guys asking for my number, and it's like, I don't keep my phone on. My phone is on silent. My phone I use for business and for personal use, right? But most of the time, the majority of the time, my friends contact me via Facebook Messenger. I do audio and video calls prearranged with my friends on Facebook Messenger. And I have messages in Messenger. That's what I use nearly all the time. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. And I don't have my phone switched on the volume. I have it on silent usually the whole time. So, and a lot of the time, it's also switched off quite a few hours a day, because otherwise I never get any rest from notifications. And so, you know, even though they don't ping, I'm still like consciously aware of them. And sometimes I just need complete time out, especially at the moment, because I'm getting over, well, still got some symptoms of COVID. You know, I'm trying to like rest a lot, take time out a lot, just like, you know, lie on the bed a lot, you know, and I just watch movies and just chill a lot of the time. Some of the time I'm still doing some research and stuff, but you know, I just need time out. And so, you know, I just find Facebook dating good in some ways, but also difficult in others. Overall, I still like it a lot at the moment. I love the friendship button. I do speak to a lot of people on there. So for me personally, if an Indian guy comes into my life, because everyone knows I like Indian guys, but I'd speak to Indian guys on there, and Pakistani the most. So they're not all Indian guys. There's quite a big proportion of Pakistanis that end up talking to me. A lot of the time they look very similar. So yeah. But, you know, because I have a variety of guys I'm talking on there, there's never really, at the moment, not any days where a guy's not speaking to me. And for me, that feels quite comfortable and good. I'm quite a sociable person. I like learning about different people as well. I think the more experience you get of dating, the better you become at it. I think that's with online dating and with offline dating. I really do believe that practice is more likely to make perfect, although I don't think there's anything perfect about Facebook dating. I just think that it becomes a skill, online dating. So the more that you do it, the more confident you become in it, and the more easily able you are to kind of like filter out the people that are good or potential matches for you, that are no good for you. And it, like I said earlier in this live stream, it helps you develop an abundance mindset. So the more guys I talk to, the more, you know, if one leaves my life, even if I had some little attachment to him, it's not as bad, because it's like I've got some other guys in my inbox, right? And although I believe in being with one person in a relationship and loyal and faithful to them, I'm not in a relationship at the moment. I'm highly single. I probably will be single for many years to come, unless I find my Indian asexual soulmate, the actual one, or my Indian soulmate, which might not be asexual, but the actual guy that's meant to be a soulmate. So far, I haven't found him. I keep finding guys, and some guys, I think it's possible I've known them in a past life. It's possible because of how easily I'm able to talk to them and communicate with them, like we've known each other a long time when we just started talking. But unless the other guy thinks the same way, you see, this is the thing. if you're looking for a soulmate or you're looking for a life partner, the other person's got to feel the same way about you as you do about them. It doesn't matter if you think you've got this amazing connection with them and you think they might be a good fit for you, because if they don't think that, they're not a good fit for you. So for me personally, I haven't found my Indian soulmate on Facebook dating, but Facebook has thousands of people on there, right? So it might be that I might find him on there, you know, but I'm looking for a very specific type of Indian guy, a very strong guy, a very kind of like young guy, but with an old soul who knows what he wants, who's very boundary driven, who's not going to go off with other women, who wouldn't even touch other women with a barge pole if he was in an actual relationship with me, who's got really strong boundaries, really kind of like I can visualize this guy that I believe is my soulmate, but I haven't found him in this lifetime yet. It's so annoying. I'm like, I can see you, I can feel you, I understand you, I know what you're like, I can trust you 100%, but I don't know where the hell you are. I believe I've known this guy in a past life, my Indian soulmate. I've been searching for him since 2014. I started this channel in 2015. So if you go back through all my videos, you'll see how much I've been trying to find my Indian asexual soulmate. I believe he is asexual, or at least if he's heterosexual, not really interested in sex, could live without it, not that bothered about it, because he thinks a spiritual and intelligent connection and aesthetics and all the rest of it is much more important, you know? Especially the emotional, spiritual, intellectual connection. I think that's really important for me to have a guy that's really into that sees value and worth like that, you know. But you know, like, I need a guy who values me enough to be in a relationship, in the type of relationship I want, you know. Like, I love my life usually. Like, I'm getting, you know, I've got some symptoms of COVID still. I'm still getting over that. So yes, my life isn't the best it could be at the moment, but it's still good, right? And I'm positive, and I haven't got breathing problems. I've had no continuous cough. I have still been coughing up some mucousy stuff, but overall, you know, I know that my life is good and it's going to get better and better and better. And, you know, I guess there's going to be more opportunities for me to meet guys in the future, you know, but I need a very specific guy who's my soulmate. I can feel him, I can visualize him, I know how he is with me. And, you know, I haven't met the guy that I can say this guy is totally into me, and he might have female friends, but he is very boundary driven. He wouldn't start cuddling his female friends and stuff like that. And if any guy came at girl or guy or any gender came up to a nightclub, he'd be like, I've got my girl. You know, even if this guy's 23, because I tend to think he's 23, because I like younger guys, and I tend to think he's 23, but a really old soul, very mature for his age, and really boundary driven, really strong guy, knows what he wants. You know, it's me, and he's very into me and just very intellectually stimulating, and just, you know, I haven't met this guy, you know, in this lifetime yet, you know. There's guys who I do come across who I have some connection with. I might have known them in a past life, and, you know, but they aren't feeling what I'm feeling, you know. You've got to have to. It's like the guy I met in Exeter, I had a date with a while ago. He's Indian. He happens to live around the corner from me, right? He doesn't speak to me anymore. He ghosted me, which is fine. I sent him a message to say, that's it, I'm not interested anymore. So if you ever, you know, you can't come back into my life then. And, you know, I don't think he was, but I just like to end things squarely, finish them off. I don't like people who ghost and leave empty, you know, people hanging. I just then messaged him to say, right, I haven't heard from you, basic ghost me, not interested in you anymore, basically. But, you know, if he was more advanced for his years, right, he's not spiritually or consciously advanced for his years, right? But say he actually, and he's in denial a lot of stuff, right? So if that guy had been probably a couple of years down the line and he went through a spiritual journey and he became consciously aware of himself, he might actually think, hey, when I had a date with Sandra, I just automatically got on well with her. I felt, you know, like I was a bit nervous because he has anxiety, but, you know, she made me feel comfortable and I could talk about anything, and I shared with her stuff I haven't shared with other people before, and she happened to live around the corner from me, and we would have got on really great. And, you know, maybe I just missed my chance with her, and she really would have been a good soul companion bestest friend, love of my life with her, you know. Maybe if he'd have been on a different journey, a spiritual journey, he might have actually realized that. But everyone's on their journey at their own time, you know. It's like I've got someone who's my friend at the moment, but he said I didn't know that we weren't suitable as a relationship, but he has concluded that. But I don't really understand his reasoning why. But I'm fine. That's fine, because I'm sure we'll be really good friends. And I don't mind if someone is not interested in a relationship with me. But I didn't really get his reason as to why not, because the type of person I actually am is the type of person he likes. So I found that quite interesting. I would have liked to have just dived into why, you know, because for my own peace of mind. But that's fine. It means that I have to just romantically move on and I can just be his friend. You know, and so I just think that, you know, with dating, you just really need to, you know, like, be in the same wavelength and the same. If you're spiritual, you need to be on the same spiritual level. You need a person who actually sees you spiritually and believes you are their soulmate and can see the connection. Because, like, some guys I feel I can connect instantly to, and I feel I can talk to them with ease, and they probably could have a really good relationship with me, but they're not at that conscious spiritual level yet. If they ever are going to be, they're not on the same wavelength as me. Maybe they haven't had enough disastrous relationships to know what a good one potentially would look like. Maybe they've not advanced enough in their thinking or their experience to know when something's really good and quite rare and special, you know? I've got enough experience to know when a connection is special and sacred, and when you can talk with someone else, because a serious and committed relationship isn't about having everything the same as each other, isn't about being the same on some things, you know. It isn't about that. It's about really being able to connect with the person, being able to talk to the person. Talking and communication is the most important thing, really. If you can't talk to the person freely, backwards and forwards, have flowing conversations about anything and everything, you have a very boring relationship, or a very rocky relationship, a very disheartening relationship, a very, you know, like, difficult relationship, right? You need to be in a relationship with someone who the conversation flows backwards and forwards with ease, and you can ask each other anything, and there's nothing off limits, and you don't need to worry about what you're going to say to the other person, and about being respectful of each other's opinions and differences, and trying not to tell the other person what to do, but listening to them and taking on board what they're saying, but also ask more questions if you don't understand. Like, can you explain that more to me? Because obviously I like guys who come from a different culture to me, and some of it, like with Indian guys, I understand a lot more, but with Pakistani guys, they're kind of like a little bit different with some of their backgrounds. And so for me personally, you know, like, it takes some understanding more of that type of thing, especially if they're Muslim and stuff. Sometimes I have to, like, you know, it's harder for me to understand. And sometimes some foreign guys, like, their English isn't good, but sometimes you use it as an excuse. So you've got to be careful of that. Because sometimes they might say, oh, I don't, my English isn't good. They might be telling the truth, but other times they might be just saying that. And really, so for example, I don't want sex in my profile, but they might say, oh, my English is not good, I don't understand, and pretend like they don't understand that what I mean by I don't like sex, you know what I mean? So you've got to be very, very careful of these things. You've got to be aware that, yes, their English might be bad, but also they could be lying about that. So, you know, because if they've been in the UK for a couple of years, for example, they can't be that bad at English usually, because especially, it depends what job they're doing. But if they're working with customers, they need to have fairly good level of English, because they would get fired for, you know what I mean, if they can't get by in their English. So you got to watch out for things like, obviously on Facebook Day, you got out, you know, anyone asks you for money, you just block them. There can be, I've had one person who wanted to date me, but they wanted really just to hook up with me, and they asked me for money to come and see me for a date. I'm like, no, and I blocked them after that. You know, so you've got to be very careful about people who ask that. I've had guys who just immediately want to come to my flat. I had one guy who I was talking to as a friend on Facebook dating, and then he's like, oh, so when are you going to invite me over to your place? It's like, well, I'm not. I've told you I'm asexual. We aren't suitable. Bye. I just had to get rid of him, you know? And so, and you have to be quite ruthless with some of them. You know, you're on a dating app. You're not, you know, you have to filter out ones that are no good. If someone's wanting sex with you, you don't want it, then they're no good. Just delete it. If someone's saying stuff to you that's being disgusting, because some of them have in the past, I've had me more luck with the friendship button, to be honest, because friendship, I usually say to them as soon as I hit the friendship button, if they match with me, I say thank you for matching with me as a friend, and I specifically use that wording so they know that I'm saying they're my friend. I'm not saying I'm going to get into a relationship with them. I'm saying, well, I'm not, they can't be my actual friend totally, because I don't know them, but I'm saying I'm coming from a friendship angle, basically. But I have noticed on Facebook dating, it does say that it's a friend, you're going for the friendship, which could lead to more. And so I think that's why some of them are just coming through as hookups. And some of the people in the friendship button, they're not looking for a serious relationship, so they are looking for a hookup, and they're using like the where they've got their profile structure. Facebook dating's picking up as they might be good for a friendship because they haven't put about a relationship in there, but some of them are just looking for casual sex or hookups. So that's why they've had friendship, because it's a friend with benefits. So you've got to be really careful of that and spell out. One guy, he said to me, so what are you actually looking for? Which it clearly states in my profile, but I always have to go over it. So it's another disadvantage of Facebook dating, is if you're asexual especially, you have to keep going over things in your profile. If it says I don't want sex, you have to spell it out again. I don't want sex. If I don't want kids, I don't want kids. If I don't want marriage, I don't want marriage. You kind of have to spell it out. It's like, oh my God, why do you not read the bio fully and take it in the information? So that gets quite frustrating. So yeah, some of the friends they actually want friends with benefits, so I have to spell it out to them that I'm looking for a relationship or genuine friends. But then some of them assume I haven't got any friends. Like one of them was like, oh, so don't you have any friends? It's like, yes, I do have friends. I have best friends. But it's like, you know what I mean? If I'm going to go on there, I would like to make some friends in the actual age group and aesthetics and ethnicity that I'm attracted to. That might be weird for most people, but I tend to pick people for friends a lot of the time, not always, that I'm not only if I'm talking about guys now that I'm attracted to in some ways, but not if they're above a certain age. But a lot of my friends, I have some attraction for in some ways. It's kind of weird, but then it can be annoying as well, especially if it's not reciprocated. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. I hope you found it useful, helpful, insightful of advantages or positives and negatives, should I say, of Facebook dating. Negatives and positives, negatives, advantages, disadvantages. Yeah, if you have, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live. Right now, I'll post a new video. Happy Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month. If you don't already have a copy, go to Amazon and get this book now, because it's amazing and very insightful, all about what asexuals think of love, life and sex from all different perspectives. Anyway, I'll see you soon. Take care, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Lots of love. Take care. Bye.